Tests that don't matter. How many of you, when you were in high school, enjoyed taking standardized tests? I hope none of you, because that would be kind of weird if you actually did. Divine Rangebitch, who is a historian of education, once said, "Sometimes the most brilliant and intellectual minds do not shine in standardized tests because they do not have standardized minds." This is very profound because, not everybody enjoys taking standardized tests and get anxiety from it. So having an adult actually realize this is very nice coming from a former high school student. I had to take the biology Keystone exams 3 different times. It was not fun. I don't like biology. It was a pain, to be quite honest. And I'm giving this speech because I was robbed of my time as a student for having to take that test 3 different times. You'll find out later. States and schools should not take standardized tests so seriously because they are costly, time-consuming, and doesn't actually consider the students who are taking the tests. First, standardized tests are costly. It costs the tests alone Pennsylvania $100 million, according to an article from Times News. $100 million. Think of all of the other stuff that Pennsylvania could be buying or putting towards. It's crazy. You can feed homeless, you can do countless things. The money really should be put elsewhere instead of just taking tests that are just gonna cause more anxiety for students. And it will help the state in areas that do actually need the money, where it may be lacking. And also, guess where the money's coming from? Taxpayers. So it's just causing more anxiety maybe for families. You have to pay more for the taxes and everything, and that student's already stressed enough and they feel like they have to pass the test because their parents had to pay these taxes. So it's a lot of stress just because it's money. Second, the tests are time consuming. The students they have to miss their core classes in order to take these tests. Maybe 1 or 2 elective classes, but majority, they accidentally schedule these tests during core classes, and that's obviously not good. Tests must hit what is like a pause button on their lessons plans for the week while the tests are given. Teachers can't proceed with their normal plans because they have to accommodate what everybody else is having to do. So it's really difficult for teachers to actually make a good lesson plan and actually teach what they need to teach by the end of the school year. The whole school is on a confusing schedule for those who have to take the test, those who do not have to take the test, and those who have to take the test more than once. And according to the Pennsylvania Department of Education, it takes 2 to 3 hours to complete just one test. So that would be 4.5 40-minute periods, and most schools have 8 period days. So that's a little more than half of the classes that you have to miss. And also, if you would take all 3 of the classes, that would be roughly around 2 actual full school days that you would have to miss in order to take those 3 tests, which that's not good. You can miss a lot of information just in 1 day of school. So we should not, as students, be facing this, because if we miss 2 days of school because of sickness or anything else like that, we're looked down upon almost, and it's our responsibility to fix that. But yet we can spend 2 days, 3 days, and everything just for these tests. It's not right. Finally, the tests do not actually consider the student. Math, literature, and biology may not be somebody's strong suit. I'm not good with biology, and I had to take that 3 times, like I said earlier. But the math ones, I took back in 8th grade and passed with advanced. And literature, I ended up failing 1 time, but then passed it again, just with a little extra help. So somebody who is good in math should not have to take these biology ones if they're not going into a biology or science field. It just doesn't make sense. Why would you do that? even as a teacher or just an adult in general, why are you going to put yourself through something you know you're not good at, but yet, like, it just doesn't make sense. Kids may not be bad students, but they feel like they are bad since they may not pass the exams. So they may look down on themselves and be like, oh, I'm such a failure. That's not what school should be about, or standardized tests. It should be like, oh yeah, I got this. But if they're not taught the material, there's nothing they can do and just guess. I mean, there's really nothing else. And everybody goes into different fields when they graduate high school. I mean, even if you think about a normal class, it's all different. We all have different topics we're into. Some are going into nursing. I could never do nursing. I want to go into something math related, but somebody may think that's their worst nightmare. So why should we have tests that are required in order to graduate be for each of those students when everybody's different? An article in the Philadelphia Inquirer said Pennsylvania's Auditor General Eugene D. Pascal believes states should replace the Keystone exams with tests that will help students realize what they would want to do regarding higher education or whatever they choose. I agree with Mr. Pascal because that's what school's all about. You're supposed to hone in or zero in on the interests that you enjoy so you can go find a job. We shouldn't be having a one-size-fit-all type of mentality when it comes to these tests and schools. I mean, even schools now, they're for a trade. It's for a certain trade, which is concentrated in that, not a science one or math one. Like, it's not just clear cut. I was not able to take more business classes or math classes because I had to take the biology keystones multiple times and I had to take a biology review class. That's just, I'm not going into biology, like I said. I should not be having to do that, or any other students who aren't good with math or literature or anything like that. But just imagine taking a test that you knew it would be okay to fail, since you're interested in that topic, such as biology, for somebody who would go into nursing. I mean, that's what the ideal test is. That would mean, like, a good grade for you. And that's great because that's what you're going into and that's your interest. After the 10 years or 9 years, whenever you take the test, it's normally in 9th or 10th grade when you take the biology keystones and the literature ones, you realize what you want to do with your life. So wouldn't it be the best thing to take a test that for an interest that you're going for one of your careers? And I challenge public officials to seriously evaluate the need for these tests, as they do not fit every student's needs. Like I said, we're all unique. We all do our own thing. So why are we going to be put into a box? So again, I think that states should seriously take a consideration and think about how costly, how time consuming, and how the tests don't actually consider the students and find a solution to those. And again, not everybody fits in the same box. So, thank you for listening. Thank you.